In this tutorial series, I will share how to use Adobe Animate CC. So first, let us first understand the origin of Adobe Animate. Its predecessor is Adobe's Flash Professional CC. In 2015, Adobe changed the name of Flash Professional CC to Animate CC. Many people think that software upgrades should be suffix upgrades, which should be CS4, CS5, CS6, CC, etc. So why change the name of the entire software? The main reason is that in recent years, files exported by Flash have been easily used by some hackers on the internet to attack users' computers. There are many negative images of the name Flash on the internet. This led Adobe to completely change the name of the software. Let's first create a new ActionScript 3.0. Let's take a look at the interface of the software first. Then the top row is the menu bar. All functions of Animate are available in the menu bar. Some of the commands we want to use can be found here. Then look down, this location is the scene. We will put some images that need to be produced, including materials and components, into this scene to set them up. The following position is the timeline. The timeline is the core thing in this animation software. The main reason why images can move is due to the timeline. There are squares on the timeline, and these squares are called frames. Each square represents a frame. A frame is a static picture. So a two-dimensional animation software like this actually connects static pictures one by one and turns them into a dynamic video. The leftmost column is the toolbar. How to use these tools will be introduced in future videos. This is the property bar. The property bar will change differently depending on different tools, different frames, or even selecting different objects or components in the scene. Whatever you choose, the properties will be displayed here. The scene is now empty, so the attribute bar now displays an attribute of the current scene. Let's take a look at the properties of the scene. The first is the scene size. The default is 640 pixels times 480 pixels. Modify the scene size and make it square. 640 by 640. The second is the color of the stage. The color of the stage can be adjusted according to your needs. When you open the color block, a color palette will appear. Wherever you put your straw, what color it will show. I still choose white here. The third FPS represents the frame rate. Frame rate indicates how many pictures a video plays per second. FPS is 30, which means there are 30 images per second. Normally, a cartoon or dynamic advertisement may require an FPS of 24 frames or more. If you want to publish the animation on the internet, you can set the FPS to 8 to 12. Because the screen refresh speed of online videos is different from that of TV. There is a tab next to the property bar. This tab is Library. This library is equivalent to carrying a backpack with you. All the materials we need can be placed in this library. Just take out the materials you need from the library. This is the window. There are now so many windows by default. If you have a frequently used window, you can bring it up in the window on the menu bar. Put it here again. These are the windows we often use, such as Color, Align, Assets, Motion Presets. There are two basic drawing forms in Animate. One is Object Mode. The other is Shape Mode. Let's use the simplest rectangle tool to demonstrate. Let me first draw a rectangle. What we are drawing now is a rectangle in Shape Mode. The rectangle in Shape Mode is the most basic rectangle in Animate. Now I move this rectangle. You will see that the fill and stroke are separated. All strokes can be dragged out individually. I'll draw another rectangle. Set this rectangle to green. Now if you put these two rectangles together, now the small rectangle is on top and the big rectangle is on the bottom. But actually it's not. After moving this small rectangle, the overlapping part has been eaten up by the small rectangle. Draw two more rectangles, both of which are green. Now I'm going to put these two rectangles together again. Now they become one. Shape mode is the most basic mode. It does not participate in arrangement. Continue to select the rectangle tool and find the Object Drawing button at the bottom of the toolbar. Click the Object Drawing button. Draw another rectangle. Click on this rectangle. It's not like the rectangle drawn in shape mode, which has many small dots distributed inside it. But there is an obvious border, then it is a whole rectangle. Draw another rectangle in object mode. I can move at will. Two rectangles will not stick together. A rectangle will not eat another rectangle. That is to say, these two rectangles are not on the same layer. I change the color of the small rectangle. Right-click the yellow rectangle, find Arrange, and click Send Backward. It can be moved to the bottom. Right-click the yellow rectangle, find Arrange, and click Bring to Front. It can still be moved to the top. This is the difference between the two modes. Let's demonstrate it again. Click on the Rectangle tool. At this time, Object Drawing is not selected. Draw a rectangle. In this case, what is drawn is a rectangle in shape mode. If you choose it, it will be all densely packed with small dots. When I move it, the fill and stroke are differentiated. If you want to move them both at the same time, you have to double-click on the fill. This way we can move together. Then remember that the second form is called an object. When clicking the Object Drawing button. Now I also draw a rectangle. The rectangle in this object mode is the whole. That's all.